Hello, everybody. It's Gareth here from Paris Technologies. Now, if you have an ERP system or an accounting system which has a SQL backend and you have access to that SQL backend, well, then you really need to check out this video because this technology is amazing with SQL. Let me show you. All right. So here I've got SQL Server Management Studio open, and I'm looking at the SQL Server Standard AdventureWorks database. Now, what I want to do is I want to be able to report on all of this data in Excel, and I want to be able to do some planning as well. So how can I make that happen? Well, first of all, I'm just going to open up a standard SQL query, and I'm just going to run it. And what that's going to do is right next to your ERP, so the AdventureWorks is going to be our equivalent of our accounting database. It's got all of its standard tables and views. I'm not going to touch that. Next to it, I'm going to create a little reporting database, and it's going to use very simple ideas where it's just going to go do some cross-database views. And it's just going to be grabbing a little bit of data out of that main database, but it's in the format that we can use with Elation, and we can see it in Excel. All right. Let's just start Elation. Let's go in there and have a look. What does it look like? All right. So I've got this database now. It's got these dimensions, a month dimension, a year dimension, some version, and an account dimension. And it's got a couple of cubes, right? So it's basically sitting on top of that new database I've created, and it's brought all of the stuff from the relational world into the cubes and multidimensional world for planning. Then I go across to Excel. And with the Power Excel add-in, I can now have a connection to this reporting database. And as you can see, it's all can be controlled with proper Windows authentication, passwords, usernames. So I've got all of that security now on top of my reporting database. I want to get any data, I just go new slice and pick my new reporting tool. And here, everything looks very, very similar to Pivot. So you can just left click and drag, move things around, and you're going to create a pivot table. Very nice and simple, easy to use. But I've already prepared something for you, so let's just open that up. Just a nice Excel workbook. And here we go. The 3-statement model, income statement, balance sheet, cash flow, straight out of the AdventureWorks database. There we go. And there we have it. So here you can see the balance sheet that's come out. You can see I've just a very summarized P&L, and here a very summarized cash flow statement. Very easy and to use. This got a couple of years worth of data. All of this data is coming immediately straight out of that database and into here. None of this data is sort of living in Excel. If I just delete it, I can just ask for that data back. And there it comes back for me straight from the database. So very, very powerful, really, really powerful reporting out of SQL. What about planning? Because what we really like to use these cube technologies for is all this planning. So let's just have a quick look at that. So here's a good example. So I've just got a piece of the P&L here, and it's got 3 months of actuals, and I'm in a forecast, and I just want to do the rest of the 9 months. So let's say I start with 3,000 or 3 million. I can just type like normal Excel. I can use all of normal Excel's technology. And then if I look to calculate it, you can see that number's calculated, that number's calculated. But what is happening when I'm typing? Let's go back to that SQL world, and let's have a look at this table here called, the same name as the cube, called finance. I'm just going to ask to see the top 1,000 rows. So you can see the 3 millions in here. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to put in a number that's kind of very obvious to us. 888,000. We'll put a few of those in. Now, as soon as I've put them in Excel, it's used Olation and loaded it straight into the SQL world. There's those 888,000s. Now, you can just imagine how powerful that is. All your hard work in Excel going into a SQL database, proper backups, proper enterprise security. It's amazing. And you're not going to find a tool that fits so well with SQL Server. So if you've got SQL Server, this is the tool for you. Thank you.